Is that water?
The landlord will kick in for small repairs like that. They already took care of the rodent problem.
Hey.
Hey, is this your new office?
It's a contender. So what's up?
Nothing. Just driving around, thinking about things.
Whoa, here it comes.
Listen, Kim, I know what's on your mind. The thing that we did, I mean, it was nuts. We're talking about a couple hundred counts of mail fraud. I could have wrecked you at Schweig. We are totally done with all that. Over and out. No more.
Let's do it again.
Oh, hey, llegaste aquí justo a tiempo. Hold on 1 second. Wait. You are going to love this. Tu vida has probado algo tan delicioso, ¿eh? De verdad. Mira, espérame. Te vas a morir.
This guy is nuts.
What are you doing here? I'm just here to lend a helping hand, make sure the business is running in order. Don't even worry. It's gonna be like I'm not even here.
Run, Nacho, run. Wow, that was the least reassuring conversation ever. Good luck, Nacho. Welcome to the Binge List. I'm Paul Chappell, and we are reviewing Coushatta, episode 8 of Better Call Saul, season 4. And boy, Nacho is in trouble. If you don't think Lalo is a raving lunatic, I got a bridge I want to sell you in Louisiana. My God, this guy, when he says you're going to die, I think he meant it literally, guys, because Nacho has been doing so well up to this point. I mean, he's been MIA, like I said in the last episode, but this episode we see he was on top of criminal nirvana. I mean, he was living it big with Hector gone, the Salamanca twins gone. He's got girls waiting for him at home. Yeah, junkies, but still, he's got 2 women on the couch waiting for him at home. I mean, just look at the art. I'll put up the clip right now. Just look at the art in this man's house. This man is cultured and sophisticated. He wasn't always your ordinary thug. There's just something about him that made him turn bad the way all these other characters in the show turn bad. Because obviously he wasn't brought up in poverty. I mean, his father had his own business, for God's sake. So what made Nacho, who looks like, criminally speaking, he's a pretty good guy. Yeah, he's a thug who sells drugs, but compared to Hector and other Salamancas, this guy's an angel, right? So my thinking on that is that, he lived the middle class life and he wants to move up to the next tier or the next, whatever you want to call it, next level. And he just didn't want to work as hard as his father. He saw his father doing, because having your own business is very hard, taken from me. I also had a father who had his own business. So seeing Nacho finally get what he wants was a little bit satisfying, but at the same time, he's planning for something horrible to happen in his life, because he goes into the closet with the money and he accidentally drops the Canadian IDs that he's made for his father and him in case he has a skedaddle at the last point. So he's been fearing what we see happen, which is the cartel sends Eduardo Salamanca to oversee the business. And from all indications, he's a nice guy, but we know how that works with the Salamancas. He's probably going to be the worst of the worst when it comes to the Salamancas. I mean, I didn't think it could get much crazier than Hector and the Salamanca twins, and Tuco for that matter. But I'm about to be proved wrong, folks. So got me very worried about Nacho's future prospects. But did you see his closet? I mean, this man has more red shirts than is legally allowed. I mean, he must have stole that whole wardrobe from Scarface or something. Anyway, moving on. We got the dig crew with Mike taking all the crew out, in town with all the strippers and drinking at the bar and whatnot. And it just goes to show that this whole episode was about reversals, because this whole time we've been thinking Kai is going to be a problem. They even have that scene where, he gets thrown out the club. But then, before you know it, it's Werner who's spilling his guts and talking a little bit too much over drinks with some strangers about the project he's working on. So I felt like that was a very suave narrative choice by the writers, because we don't so much care about Kai as we do about Warner. Warner is a good guy. He's a guy you can sit down. Seems like he's empathetic to you and your family and your whole history. He's the type of guy that will listen probably hours on end to your story and actually be interested. So it was kind of upsetting to see him put in kind of this precarious situation where Gus may have him killed. I mean, there was even that short pause where Gus asked Mike, well, what do you think? And Mike could very well have ended that guy's life at that moment. If he gave Gus any kind of indication that he was worried about Warner. But he doesn't, because like the audience, he cares about Warner. But obviously something very bad is going to happen with this dig. And I was expecting it to happen this episode, and we just got more foreshadowing for a later time. I think it has something to do with the blasting they're going to do, because they mentioned that twice so far. So I don't know whether it's going to be an accident. I don't see really how that can be an accident. I don't think you would try to do blasting while you're in a vicinity. You would want to kind of be removed. But something's obviously going to happen, because they wouldn't be building it up so much. So I'm going to be looking forward to see what happens in these next couple episodes. But getting back to reversals, we got Jimmy at the start of the episode. He's enacting Kim's plan, which is kind of far-fetched, but narratively, I see why the writers needed to work, because we've seen this pattern with Jimmy where he builds up a scheme, as he did with the old folks in the earlier seasons with the Sandpiper case. He gets to a point where he's going to make a lot of money, and then he kind of hamstrings his whole plan because he feels guilty about somebody he's harmed. And that, in the Sandpiper case, it was the old woman, and I'm drawing a blank on her name. But in this scam, which is the phone selling scam, he inadvertently gets Huel in trouble and has to get him out of that jam. And he sabotages his own plan, his whole scam with selling these phones, by using the phones to drum up this supposed support to thwart this ADA Suzanne Erickson. So he's using the phones as a cover for this home support that Huel is supposedly having. And as a result, he's not going to make any money off of those phones, I'm wagering. But it was kind of interesting with that. It's also interesting that they foreshadowed what was going to happen with Kim, and at the same time, I was expecting a different outcome. I don't know why I was expecting a different outcome. I think it had a little bit to do with that scene where he's talking with his landlady.
You say sorry, then say sorry again. Whatever she says, you say sorry.
And he knows he's in trouble with Kim, but right at the end of their scheme, when they get Hugh get his charge knocked down to a misdemeanor, we see how excited Kim became in winning. And at the time, I thought, well, was she very excited because of the scheme itself, or was she excited because she got Huel off? I mean, there's no real reason to for her to care about Huel. She doesn't even know Huel, so I dismissed that, and I thought that maybe, well, she was so excited and turned on by this turn of events because she's butting heads with the ADA, this Suzanne Erickson. Because there's something about this woman who she just has it in for Hugh, and I couldn't understand why. I felt like maybe it was a little bit of racism, but later I just concluded that she's an alpha female and Kim's an alpha female, and you got a case where these two alpha females are butting heads, and neither one of them wants to back down. And Kim was doing everything she could. I mean, the whole play with the associates, bringing in the associates to give, the defense more weight, everything about that, and just the way that scene played out, just confirmed what I felt at the time was the reason behind her excitement at winning. And boy, does Kim have the best poker face I've ever seen. But getting back to that, we could see that there was going to be a reversal just from that scene. And also there's a scene where she's sitting in the office with the bank manager and the bank owner, and you can just see her eyes glazing over, the boredom in her face as she listens to these new expansion plans. So there was an indication there that there was something tugging at the back of her mind. And even in that scene where she raises the topper of the tequila, she's just reminiscing about that whole time they scammed the Ken Wins guy, and you could see where her mind was going. But at the same time, I still was not convinced that she was not going to leave him at that point where she came over to the office he was inspecting. I really expected that to turn out differently. And it just is a testament to how great these writers are that they foreshadowed where their relationship was going. And at the same time, I didn't even believe, maybe you believe, but I did not believe that she was going to stay with him. So now I'm thinking, what is going to happen to Kim? Because obviously something happened. Something pushed Jimmy to become Saul Goodman and to give up all sense of morality. Because one thing this series has demonstrated, one thing this whole episode of Hugh has demonstrated, is that there is a good side to Jimmy. Because there's no reason for him to really care about Hugh, but he's getting somebody who's been helping him, somebody who's really in his employ, but at the same time, someone he sees is being accused of something unjustly, and he does everything he can to make sure that Hugh's name is cleared and that he's taken care of. So something has to put him over that so-called stumbling block to him being Saul Goodman, and it has to be Kim. I mean, maybe the writers will come up with something else, but I feel like Kim is either going to die at some point, she's going to get caught up with some kind of scheme and it's going to go bad. Or at the very least, she's going to go to jail because she gets caught in this scheme with Jimmy. So I'm worried. There's only 2 episodes left in this season. And as you probably remember, Breaking Bad only had 5 seasons. So I don't expect Better Call Saul to have more than 5 seasons. So whatever's going to happen with Kim is going to happen either at the climax of this season or early next season, but we'll see. But like I said, it was a pretty good episode. There's a lot of twists and turns, and it was very satisfying, I have to say. And I look forward to talking about the next episode with you. So I also have to mention, if you like this episode and you want to continue seeing episodes, please subscribe and, do whatever you got to do. Make a YouTube account, whatever. But please subscribe because I'm never going to make headway with this YouTube channel unless I get some subscribers. But thank you for joining me, and I will see you when I see you.